But as we all know, such a center doesn't come about easy. It involves a lot of work and a lot of work behind the scenes. So it is in fact the culmination of a lot of hard work. And I'm really grateful to Professor Jianjun Zhang, Professor Jian Chang, and also with assistance from Mike Board and Zoe Leonard for bringing this center together. And so thank you very much to everyone involved for bringing us up to this point. And also in going forward, CFACT will be instrumental in creating new research, new interdisciplinary research, multidisciplinary research, new impact, and also future thought leaders in this field. So we are about to embark on a very new and exciting journey with Professor Jianjun Zhang and Professor Jian Chang at the helm, and to create a center that is world leading. So I just wanted first again, in fact, reiterate my thanks to everyone who's been involved in this center. We are proud to have such a new and exciting center at BU and also in FMC, and to have colleagues who are world leading to in fact lead this center. I do want to say special thanks to Professor Jianjun Zhang and Professor Jian Chang for all their continuous hard work and for consistently pushing boundaries to create new and innovative research. We are very fortunate to have you here at BU, and thank you very much for your constant dedication, your commitment, and hard work. And also thank you very much to everyone who has joined us today for this amazing, to in fact celebrate this amazing achievement, and to everyone who's going to be involved with us in going forward and with all of you going forward. I wish you every success. I have no doubt that the center will go from strength to strength. And of course, we all look forward to celebrating your successes in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Danusha. Okay, now we'll hand over to Professor Jianjun Zhang.
Thank you, Danusha. Thank you, Zoe. I'd just like to say a few words. We know that today we have a short, we have a very tight schedule because we only have 1 hour. I'm so pleased to see everybody. Today, I really just like to highlight one word, which is collaboration. We know that the center, CFACT, which is the Center for Applied Creative Technology, is in the area of creative technology, of course. And the creative technology, we all know, is in the subject, is an area of applied research or applied subject, where theories meets practical problems. So we are not sort of theoreticians. Nonetheless, we do push theoretical boundaries for the purpose of solving real problems. And we know that this center actually was born from 2 existing centers, the National Center for Computer Animation, which was established in 1989, and also the other center, which is the Center for Digital Entertainment, which was founded by the EPSRC. And the NCC, which is the National Center for Computer Animation, we encourage the collaboration between artists and technologies. And of course, we push innovative technological boundaries. The Center for Digital Entertainment, which we have received over £11 million from the EPSRC and also other support sponsorships from the industry, is also an example of sort of supporting collaboration. We have educated over 100 doctoral students, and most of them have been sort of working with industry partners, and both us in terms of researchers and the technologists, hosts of the industry have all benefited from it. So the word collaboration really is so important for the CFACT, and we hope the CFACT would nurture 3 types of collaborations: the cross-sector collaborations, which is academics and industry collaboration, and also cross-disciplinary collaborations, which of course we're talking about the collaboration between different disciplines like computer science, mathematics, engineering, working with other applied areas, digital entertainment, creative technology, as well as other different applications like medicine, like heritage, etc., etc. The third area of collaboration is ideas collaborating with implementations. We do have a lot of ideas in terms of research, and we develop new ideas, but ideas wouldn't mean anything until we have implemented them. So we want to implement them, implement these fantastic ideas with our collaborators, with our industry collaborators, with our academic collaborators, with our sort of student collaborators. So we develop everything from strength to strength. So thank you very much for joining our launch event. I do hope that we can work together and develop exciting projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, now we'll pass over to Professor Jen Chang, who will give us more of an overview of CFAX itself.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the launch event of the CFAX. Thank you, Danusha and Professor Zhang, for the nice introduction. So allow me to share my screen. So I hope you will see my slides now. So as Professor Zhang mentioned, so that's CFAX is a collaboration center, so that has been supported by the National Center for Computer Animation and the CDE, so that's the Center for Digital Entertainment. And also I think these are European funded Marie Curie Action, so it's called co-funded project. We are somehow looking into the collaboration, not just within the academic world. So we are more keen to work together with our industry partners. So today, I think we will have colleagues from Framestore and Humane to give it introduction about what would be possible, I think, when we have the center set up. So what the CFAX is about? So CFAX, what we can do with CFAX, or what the CFAX want to do. So first, I think as a Marie Curie shape, if you're not familiar with that, so that's Marie Curie is a particular shape, so that supports the international mobility of academics. So in CFAX, so we want to support the research fellows coming from outside UK to join our research center to work together to develop new research and exciting ideas and implementations. So we want to support the cross-sector experience and multidisciplinary research. And importantly, we want to push the boundary of our knowledge development, so that's aiming to the research excellence. So the center will be located in Bournemouth, so that's a city located on the south coast of UK. So here you can see a nice picture about where we have the Golden Beach. And for the subject areas, we are looking into various disciplines. So mainly, I think all that has to link to the creative technologies and how the creative technology can be applied to different areas. Given the recent fast development in artificial intelligence, etc., I think that could be a very interesting hot zone, so that we want to invest into the area. But we wouldn't want to exclude other opportunities. So therefore, we would want to using the computer animation and immersive technology as a step, but somehow we want to support collaboration with medical related research, assistive technology, and other things could be related to manufacturing, like 3D printing, and also novel interaction, or even 5G and robotics. So I think that we are offer a platform so that we can invite talent researchers to join our team. So the CFAX, actually, the investment is in line with the 4 key strategic areas that's in the vision of the university. So first, we are talking about the animation, simulation, and visualization. And also, we want to promote the medical science, as we have a new medical school has been launched within the university. medical imaging devices, etc., that all be available for support the research. We also want to promote the assistive technology and sustainability of low carbon technologies and material science. So through the CFAX, so this will be 5 years program. During the 5 years, we want to promote 2 calls. So each call, we would invite applicants to apply for the post as postdoctoral researcher. So each applicant will need to provide a research proposal, so that we will be able to evaluate their excellence or potential, so that based on the quality of the research proposal, then we can decide to offer a position to the most top research. So that's where I think Mike will be talk a little bit more at the end of this today's session to introduce the recruitment process. There's some eligible criteria. So first eligible criteria, so that an applicant must have to be a resident outside of UK. So in the past 3 years, he mustn't has been lived in UK for a long time. Here we would say no more than 12 months together. And also he or she need to be a person who possesses a doctorate at the time of makes application, and or equivalently. So if he or she don't have a doctorate, but equivalently, she or she need to have at least 4 years full-time equivalent research experience. So this center will provide opportunity for the fellows to work with the supervisors within the university, and also it's where he or she will have access for the research resources that's not just within the Bournemouth University, but also from the collaborated companies, so that are industrial partners, and they can develop the skills through a research training program, so that's supported by the CFAX, and also as a support. So we want to support the research with some additional support, so that we will provide up to 30K for each year to offer them this money to allow them to networking, developing research, buying facilities, and making publications, attend conference, etc. So we value the opportunity to collaborate with industry, so that we hope the research will be able to carry it. We'll be able to carry it as the industry companies, rather in a way so that there's a close bond between the researcher and the company. So we would want to share the opportunity, so that to work on challenging projects and challenging problem to solve the real life problem. And also we want to allow the placement opportunities, so to allow the researcher to actually be host within a particular company during their journey with us. I think I will hand over to Greg and Nathan, so that I think Greg will go first to give us a little bit introduction about the collaboration opportunity with the company. So Greg, I think the floor is yours.
I'll try that again. Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the invite. I'm going to share my screen here a second. Okay, here we go. Just make sure you're all there. All right. I'm going to introduce a little bit about the company through like a short 50-second video, first of all. Okay. So by the wonders of Zoom, here we go. Don't you love computers? My audio's gone skew-whiff this morning. At Humane, we develop digital humans for world-leading entertainment and technology companies. We're a team of 17 visual effects and video game industry professionals and 3D artists and researchers. We work across multiple platforms, video game development in AR, mobile, PC, console, and film and television. And we are primarily interested in pushing the boundaries of real time. If I could just single out one of our partners there, Treyarch, for just a second. We just helped them deliver Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Creating a digital human is a highly technical and craft-driven process and can take several months to complete. And Humane's mission is to reduce this process from several months to real time. A long-time collaborator of ours and now our Chief Scientific Officer is Dr. Erika Rosenberg. Erika is a world-renowned expert in facial expression and on facial measurement and using the facial action coding system, or FACS as it's known. Now, FACS categorizes all observable facial movement into action units. And it is the gold standard used by facial researchers and behavioral scientists worldwide. Erika is the protege of Paul Ekman, shown here, who's the senior author of FACS. And Paul has now passed guardianship of FACS over to Erika to revise and to update. And we at Humane will be contributing to this important and highly detailed scientific manual. For the past 30 years of teaching and publishing, Erika has performed action units and has gained the ability to move each muscle interface independently. And she was therefore the perfect candidate for us to scan. We scanned Erika performing all 40 action units plus 100 of their common combinations. And we scanned her with the same high resolution scanner used on Star Wars. And we also scanned her in 4D. And our plan was to use this database of clean action units to transfer them to any other character. We had programming experience in-house, but what we lacked was a rigorous researcher. We were introduced to the National Centre of Computer Animation at Bournemouth through Michael Board, its research project manager. And I expressed the challenges that we were trying to solve. And Mike suggested we engage with Professor Liwa Yu. Hiya, Liwa, you're somewhere there, at Bournemouth through a KTP. And after a successful application, we recruited Xiaojing Dian. The primary objective of the KTP was to generate a new facial rig from our existing database of action units. And together we developed a solution that has directly impacted the development of digital humans for our partners. Xiaojing was also able to publish 10 papers, and the KTP was awarded its highest grade of outstanding. The KTP also benefited us in other ways we were not anticipating. We were able to engage with the doctoral student cohort, which led us to other recruiting opportunities. We recruited an additional researcher, Dr. Anzhong Zheng, who was just completing his PhD. And it also gave us extraordinary access to the world-class BU academic staff. They provided insights into state-of-the-art research, challenged our approach, and opened up areas of other opportunities for us. And this led to us participating in the NGD at Bournemouth through the CTE program. And we were particularly interested in machine learning student Robert Kosk, who's now working with Dr. Richard Sutherland there. And now machine learning plays a large role within our company. Our research staff have completed machine learning training at Bournemouth, as well as Oxford and Cambridge. And of course, they've all been trained by Erika in the facial action coding system. And machine learning, of course, is only as good as its input. We have been adding to Erika's database. We made 4D recordings of 30 lines of lip reading tests under different emotions. And we are on course to add another 500 identities, each with a full FACS set to our databases by April, bringing our total to over 10,000 cleaned up scans. All our databases are conformed to a consistent temporal mesh, which includes an encoding that is better suited to deep learning with 3D models. And of course, we also need access to computing power. As well as our internal computing resources, we have access to AWS cloud computing. We're on the NVIDIA Inception program. And we can publicly announce today that we have just joined this year's Machine Intelligence Garage, which among other benefits which will give us access to NVIDIA DGX hardware. We have great traction and we have excelled our sales targets, but R&D takes time away from production and it takes time to productize, which is why we are delighted to be supported by other partners. Innovate UK through the audience of the Future Investment Accelerator, Future Screens NI, Northern Ireland Screen, Invest Northern Ireland, and our VC funders, Crescent Capital and Techstart, and Ulster University, and of course, Bournemouth University. And that is why we're delighted to be a participant today in the launch of CFAX. This is an excellent opportunity for someone to join our growing team of researchers to build a next generation digital human pipeline. The output of this research will directly impact the development of digital humans for our partners. Using state-of-the-art methodology in machine learning and facial reconstruction, our objectives are to develop a system to automatically create believable personalized blend shapes, generate personalized production-level skin textures using deep learning algorithms, and to automatically drive and animate a 3D target avatar by an actor's 2D video. Thank you to Bournemouth for giving this opportunity to participate in the program, and thank you for helping us find great talent wherever in the world they may be. Thank you so much, and I guess I'll pass you over to Nathan now. Pleasure to meet you, Nathan.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for that presentation. I'm just going to share my screen as well, so hopefully this should be good. Hopefully you can see that. So yeah, thanks. I'm Nathan Wolstus. I'm head of rendering at Framestore. I'm just going to show a short video as well that just kind of showcases some of the work we do. It's about a minute long as well.
I see this as an absolute win.
Cool. So I hope it gives you a kind of flavour of some of the projects that we've worked on, and with some of the kind of upcoming things we're doing. I wanted to talk a bit about, very briefly about the company, then kind of the team that I run within the company, the work we're doing, and then some of the problems that we're faced in production that we think could be really interesting to work on collaboratively in this as part of the CFAX program. So very briefly, Framestore, which you may not know about. So we predominantly do VFX feature films, we also do commercials, interactive content such as theme park rides, and also kind of game engine technology, virtual post-production, these kinds of things. We have our main offices in London, Montreal, New York and LA. So we're very much a global company with development and research teams spread across all of those. We use industry standard open source software and tool sets, and I've just listed some of the partners that we kind of maintain relationships with and the tool sets that we use. Research at Framestore, we have quite a strong heritage with this. We've presented and published at SIGGRAPH and EGSR. This tends to be focused around rendering based ideas, and there's been some novel research in that area. We're also involved in some EU funded projects, particularly in terms of there's one we're doing called Present at the moment, which is kind of like a real-time sentient avatar, and this pulls in lots of different collaborators across the EU. My team in particular, and what I'm really interested in is obviously rendering. We're a fairly small team, and we're based entirely in the London office, and it's quite multidisciplinary. So my focus here is to bring together engineers, researchers, and artists to try and solve the kinds of problems that hopefully you could see in that opening video. You know, we're looking at huge environments, really kind of complex creatures, lots of different rendering problems there. So all those images that you saw were rendered in our in-house renderer, which is called Freak. And that's something my team are responsible for developing. We also look after things like shader libraries, artist-focused tools, and DCC integration. And this software and technology is used globally across all of our film teams. So what I'm really interested in, and I think this chimes a lot with what's been said this morning, is how can we apply this research? How can we make research that is practical and in some ways pragmatic, so it really kind of is useful and both extends the domain of knowledge. We want to do cool stuff, but we also want to do it because we want to, you know, get a better visual result, or we want to, in my case, often reduce render times, you know, and improve efficiency. And I think this is really, I think there's a really interesting opportunity to do all of this within this kind of framework. So benefits from Framestore, if you know, what can we offer a researcher that comes and collaborates with us? You know, we have world-class artists and developers. You know, we have some of the best kind of supervisors and animators out there, and what I would like to be able to propose is a researcher comes in and gains knowledge and exchanges knowledge with these people. We have cutting edge workflows and technologies in place. These would be there for a researcher to come in and leverage. And particularly in terms of what I'm going to talk about soon, you know, I think there's a lot of crossover in some ways with what Greg was talking about and machine learning. We have huge production level data sets, both from previous and current films, that it's all there for people to use and train on. So that we want to provide access to all of this. And also, I think what's quite gratifying about this is we can do this research and we can immediately apply it to production. It doesn't need to be something that becomes delivered at the end. We can see in an iterative way if we can apply these things and how it improves and how it evolves the workflows that we're using. So I'm just going to go over two areas that I think are interesting that we could pursue, and the first one is light transport. And I've got this kind of long title thing, application of machine learning to problems in light transport, but it's basically like we're trying to solve these really complex lighting problems, right? You saw in those images. We've got volumetric multiple scattering, we've got nested dielectric media. Our typical way of solving these is a forward path tracer, and it doesn't solve many of these techniques particularly well. And what we end up with is high variance, which equates to noise, or we get missing illumination, neither of which is ideal, and neither of which takes us towards this beautiful image that we want to present. We've got a couple of very short clips here. We saw Hulk from the opening video. And we're not actually rendering Hulk here. We're rendering the entire, you know, hangar that he's in. We're solving the light coming through these windows and bouncing on the floor and up into his face. It's kind of interesting because it's like, can we be smarter about how we can do this? We we're rendering thousands of frames. We must be able to learn something from this. We've got all this shoot data, we've got all this scan data. How can we use all these kind of inputs and be smart about a way to solve these solutions faster? Again, this is from a film, Disney's Dumbo, where we've got this fire illuminating this smoke and stuff. Really tricky, complex light transport that I think, you know, we can use machine learning to accelerate and improve. And again, a bit of a closer study, you know, really we've got the fidelity of this kind of subsurface scattering through the skin, caustics into the eyes. These are really difficult problems to solve in forward path tracing, and something where, you know, some of these kind of reinforcement learning approaches like path guiding can be, you know, can be quite useful. So that's one of these proposals. Can we use machine learning to solve and accelerate these transport scenarios? There are some things that are really important to us that often are missed in the existing body of research and literature, and these are so important to us. And they're things like temporal coherency. We're not rendering a single frame. We're rendering a sequence of images, and it's got to look stable. Our artists also like to control things. They don't like to have a result and be told that that's the final result. You know, they want to play with it in some way. And again, it's tricky things we're trying to solve. It's clouds, it's fur, it's caustic paths. A lot of the research out there tends to show quite beautiful but contrived examples. It's a reflective kitchen or something. That's not a real world render that we're trying to do. So the second example that I've got is something that I think is generally termed super resolution, and this is a real problem for us. And I think this is almost something where machine learning is becoming, you know, more commonplace in how it's being used. So we historically would render it at 2K for film. Now it's 4K, or everyone's got an 8K TV or whatever. It keeps getting bigger and bigger, which is great because we get this, you know, improved detail and fidelity. But for the vendors producing this content, it's incredibly expensive to compute. You know, as we double resolution, that's 4 times as many pixels that we have to render, and so forth. So how do we scale up our content creation pipelines for these future super resolutions? Again, I've got a clip here from, this was a Netflix movie called Aeronauts, and it's set almost completely in the sky in these beautiful cloudscapes. This is a bit of a show and tell, but they wanted it rendered at 8K, and it was very tricky for us to render these full frame complex volumetrics at that kind of resolution, and it was something that took us a bit by surprise. And I think these are the kinds of problems that we need to be much better at solving, and I think machine learning can help us there. Again, this is an example from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I want to show the kinds of things that the detail we might be rendering. Like, this is the kind of level of fur that we typically and skin detail that we're actually rendering. We talk about, you know, these kind of super resolution techniques. Often things like fur or small details get lost in that mix somewhere, and a lot of the existing technology doesn't cope with them very well, and it means that we can't use it. So again, just to run through the proposal, it's really to explore machine learning to, can we decouple the sampling rate that we're rendering at from the actual delivery image resolution? And key to this, I think, is we have our own renderer. We don't want to do this as an offline technique on some images. We want to do this in render. Can we feed the current set of samples and results we have? Can we use that to guide a learning process and then feed back into the renderer to say, right, this is where I need to spend a bit more of my rendering budget? So I think there's some really interesting things there, and very much applicable to kind of problems that we currently have in production. I think that was everything, so I'm just going to close that now. But I hope that kind of gave you an idea of kind of where we're at and some of the ideas we've got.
I think that's, I would like to also take the opportunity to thank all the colleagues has been working with us when we develop the ideas of CFAX, and so that we are able to get the success to be awarded. And I hope that, that will give us a, kind of collaboration platform to carry more exciting research within BU and with the industry partners. And also, I think please do spread the news around after our launch off, and we hope you would pass this news to your contacts so that we can welcome applications across the world. So therefore, that help us to recruit the best candidates. I think I think we probably also mentioned in the put in the presentation in the slides, but I probably didn't mention. So the payment, I think, actually quite generous. So that for the fellow, I think they will receive an annual salary about £50,000 per year. So that's normally it's higher rate than for a normal fellow. So yeah, I think that's I really appreciate it for your coming to our today's session. So I have more questions we are pop up. So when we talking, yeah.
Just to reiterate, once the web page has gone live, which we hope will be within the next week, we'll send a message out to everybody to let you know, and obviously try and follow us on our social media so that we can try and spread the word and share the love of CFAX.
I know that we have a lot of colleagues from BU, and then if you would like to join us for any research projects, certainly you're welcome. And as I said earlier, that we like to sort of encourage any form of collaborations. Internal collaboration, of course, is the easiest for us to do.
Thank you, Professor. So I think if there's no further questions, I think we probably can wrap up. And thank you everyone for joining us. And thank you, Nathan Gray, to giving the wonderful presentation. And
Pleasure, thank you.
hope we will be able to make the CFAX successful projects. I'm looking forward to collaboration with all of you.